Niner Gang, what's good? You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, as always, Chase Sr. 2 shows in one day because there's a lot going on with this football team in the days leading up to NFL free agency. We, of course, have you covered next week during free agency and every day on the calendar year. Another reminder why you have to subscribe. Now, why are we bringing you another show? Niners made a couple of roster moves. Peter Schrager said some interesting things about Jimmy Garoppolo, and Colin Kaepernick wants to get back into the NFL. Could the 49ers call him up? Hit him up. They do need a backup quarterback. We'll explore that as well. As far as those roster moves go, Kevin Givens back on a one-year contract extension. So too is JaMycal Hasty, Maurice Hurst, Colton McKivitz. That was actually a deal that came forward yesterday. And Nate Sudfeld has been signed to a reserves future contract. So the quarterbacks on the roster for 2022 as of right now: Jimmy Garoppolo still, because he has not been traded. When he does, we have you covered with a video. Trey Lance and Nate Sudfeld. Want to focus in here on Hurst and Givens. This really adds defensive line depth for D'Amico Ryans' defensive front and Chris Kocurek as well. I mean, this was a defensive line last year that really found its groove from week 10 on, and that's a big reason why the Niners had one of the NFL's best defenses for the back half of the year. And that's why I continue to say, when it comes down to my team philosophy, I don't think the Niners need to sign J.C. Jackson $20 million plus per year when they have a lot of rotational pass rushes and a strong defensive line, because if you're loaded up front, it doesn't really matter as much what's going on that back end. So why would you give a cornerback $20 million, which prohibits you for roster needs elsewhere? It's a lot of money to pay one singular player on a team that's trying to knock through and get to a Super Bowl once again. Who is your favorite NFL free agent that you want the Niners to sign? I just talked about J.C. Jackson. You can go with another position. Free agency, tampering period starts on Monday. The league year starts on Wednesday. Yeah, we have you locked and loaded right here on the 49ers Report. That's why you have to subscribe, because if you ain't subscribed, homies, you ain't alive. Free daily videos covering the latest 49ers news and rumors, live shows every week. Next week during free agency, when big moves happen, I can assure you we'll be going live. We like to have fun and interact with the faithful as well, so hit that big red sub button down below. Yes, we continue to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo here on the channel because he's one of the biggest storylines at the league's most important position at quarterback. We did talk about Garoppolo earlier on today, in addition to Bobby Wagner. Check that video out after you watch this one. This is what Peter Schrager of NFL Network said on the Pat McAfee Show. I don't think the Niners are feeling this great pressure to do this because, truthfully, there's multiple suitors right now, and the Niners have their quarterback. So why should they bend over backwards to get a trade done before seeing the best offer possible? So there's really no rush for the 49ers to get a Jimmy Garoppolo trade done. There was some feeling after that Carson Wentz deal that maybe it was going to happen on Wednesday. It didn't happen, at least yet, on Thursday. Who knows when the hell it happens? It could happen over the next week. Garoppolo getting that shoulder injury is another reason why a trade may have been delayed. But when you look at this from the bird's eye view, I think the 49ers have played this Jimmy Garoppolo situation really well. Aaron Rodgers returned to the Green Bay Packers. Russell Wilson got traded to the Denver Broncos. Carson Wentz got sent packing to the Washington Commanders. And all of that quarterback movement has now thinned out the quarterback market and, in turn, increased the value for Jimmy Garoppolo in a trade. And when you look at San Francisco, they already have their future quarterback on the roster in Trey Lance, unless they do something crazy like go after Tom Brady. So that's why I think the Niners have played their cards well. And now there are still multiple quarterback needy teams out there canvassing the landscape for a quarterback, and Garoppolo, one of, if not the best quarterbacks available right now. That's why I've always said all along, I think the Niners can net a second-round pick back for Jimmy G, especially if Carson Wentz got back 2 threes. Where do you want? Not where do you think. Where do you want to see Jimmy Garoppolo get traded to? That's my next question for the Niner Gang. Let me know in the comments section. Interested to see what all of you have to say. Give me a team or teams in the comments section. Pittsburgh Steelers, Carolina Panthers, Indianapolis Colts. I think those are the 3 teams that make the most sense. Maybe you add the New Orleans Saints into that equation as well. You let me know what you're feeling. Today's show brought to you by the fine folks at Rumble. Really excited to tell you about our new partnership with Rumble. What is it? It's another video platform. Not everybody uses every social media platform like Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Not everybody absorbs all of their content on one singular platform. On Rumble, you get free and uncensored content like your boy. They don't like cancel culture. Sports, news, politics, tech, business, whatever you want is available on Rumble. And what we're trying to do here at Chat Sports and on the Niners Report, grow to the platforms that our viewers use. So this is what I want you to do right now, because I'm actually somewhat disappointed in our fan base because we only have like 30 followers on the Rumble app. I want all of you to go to rumble.com/49ers TV and follow the 49ers Report. And when you do that, get into the comment section and type me. If you do that, and I'll have proof that you do, I'll give you a shout out next week at some point on the 49ers Report. Once again, rumble.com/49ers TV, another platform in which you can take in all of your Niners content from us here at Chat Sports. To the juiciest story of today's show. 49ers need a backup quarterback. Will they go with a guy like Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, or should San Francisco sign Colin Kaepernick? Tweeted out a workout video today for, the 12th time over the last couple of years and said that he wants to get back into the NFL. And Adam Schefter said this on Twitter: Colin Kaepernick is still working out and is said to be, in the words of one source, quote, in the best shape of his life. He wants to play. He's ready to play. He would be a great fit for teams with quarterback vacancies to fill who want to win a Super Bowl. So really, there's a source out there that thinks Colin Kaepernick can help lead you to the Lombardi Trophy, you winning a Super Bowl. My big takeaway from what Schefter said and what he relayed from this source was the source Cap's agent? Because Colin Kaepernick is 34 years old, and does he really want to play? Because in years prior, if he really wanted to play, he could have played in the Alliance of American Football League. They reached out to him. He could have played in the XFL. He could have been the face of the USFL. Instead, he didn't play in any of those leagues, and he's still a free agent. Now, I think it's safe to say that the NFL blackballed Colin Kaepernick for taking the knee and standing up to social injustice, no question. I think he should still be in the league, but at the back half of his tenure with San Francisco and after Jim Harbaugh left, he got beat out by Blaine Gabbert. He wasn't a quality starting quarterback. That, combined with all of the extra stuff and him getting blackballed, is why he was sent packing out of the National Football League. Now, obviously, throughout his Niners tenure, this is why he's revered by many in the Bay. 28-30 overall record, started great, ended poorly, completed around 60% of his passes, 72 touchdowns to 30 picks, and 12,000 plus passing yards. Of course, he wreaked havoc on the ground as well as a dual threat quarterback before dual threat quarterbacks became more commonplace and more popular in the National Football League. The Super Bowl run in 2012 was tremendous. Another NFC title trip on top of that. Colin Kaepernick was really good and was able to do some special things on the football field. Had a bazooka and a cannon for an arm. He lacked some of those touch throws, but right around the seams and inside the seams and on some of those out routes, he was great. On the deep ball with that lack of touch, he struggled at times. So I'm not sure if Colin Kaepernick's going to get signed by any team, let alone San Francisco. And I think because of all of the drama that would ensue with the Niners bringing back Colin Kaepernick, they're not going to go this route. I think it's more safe for them to go Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, Jacoby Brissett, Teddy Bridgewater. Now that Russell Wilson is taking his place as a starter with the Denver Broncos, those are all more viable options, and frankly, they are better players at this point. We're talking about a player in Kaepernick who hasn't played for several years since a couple of years ago, as we talked about. I forget the exact year that we just showed you. He's 34 years old, and does he really want to play? Which year was it? 2016. We didn't want to pass along fake news here on the channel. So, yeah, I don't think the Niners are going to go the route of Colin Kaepernick. That's a question that I've been asked today from Niner fans. It ain't going to happen. And if it does, I'd be surprised. But if it does, we'll be pushing out a video. Should Cap be signed to back up Lance? Now, this is another topic of conversation really quickly that we can hit because he has a similar skill set to Trey Lance. So if Lance is the starter and he were to get injured, you wouldn't have to totally pivot to a different type of offensive style. So in that way, it would make sense. You let me know. S for sign, P for pass. Chime into the comment section. Embrace debate. Embrace the conversation. Treat it like a sports talk radio call-in line. Get those votes in. Thank you so much for watching today's show, and don't forget to subscribe.